With nearly 250 billion shillings shortfall in the 1.6 trillion budget, this is apparently government's best bet to collect the much-needed extra revenue required. This, however, is the third time government is attempting to introduce taxation on food and other products of mass consumption.
The VAT Bill 2013 looks exactly the same as the VAT Bill 2011, and the message is very simple: tax everything.
And that's where the problem lies, according to the tax expert, because he says the government could have chosen to introduce the 16% VAT on a wide range of items, excluding food.
There are over 450 items that are zero rated and 320 items that are exempt. That is probably more than anywhere else in the world.
The government's argument has been that let's tax everything, but then identify the poor households, and then we make cash transfers to them. I don't know how well that is going to work in this country. I don't think we have the machinery that will make those cash transfers happen in an efficient way and without any wastage.
It is even more complicated to implement such a cash transfer project, according to Kisu, because poverty index records show that 40% of Kenyan households are poor. In the end, it will make no sense to introduce tax and give nearly half the population money to enable them to buy commodities.
The risks you face by not taxing these goods is much lower than the risk you face when you put cash in people's hands and tell them to send it to the poor people. It's a much higher risk to me.
The bill seeks to impose tax on dairy products, seeds, cereals such as wheat, barley and maize, sanitary towels, sheath contraceptives, exercise books, among others. Government hopes to collect revenue worth 10 billion shillings from these.
You cannot have this tax when you have half of the civil servants on the streets clamoring for more pay. You have teachers, you have, I don't know, nurses, and all these people are on the street asking to be paid more. And now you're putting a bill which, we don't need to wait for Wednesday morning. There will be hundreds of thousands of Kenyans on the streets all over the country once this bill is tabled in Parliament. Why do it now when you already have another crowd making noise and there's no learning in school? Wrong timing.
This puts members of parliament in a dicey situation. Even though the Jubilee coalition dominates the House, this bill will not have an easy ride on the floor because members know it has the potential to alter their political careers.
Definitely any member of parliament who will side with that bill as it is committing political suicide. And they're not stupid people, and that's why they'll throw it out next week.
You can foresee that.
I can tell you that. They'll throw it out.
It would be a radical move, no doubt, to have the bill passed into law. And to have it enforced, tax experts say the taxman may be forced to give in order to take.
If you want to put in place a very aggressive VAT system, you have to balance that with a generous personal tax system so that people have sufficient disposable income to be cushioned when it comes to paying taxes on consumption.
And perhaps to appease the public, the bill also seeks to rope in the president and the Kenya Defence Forces in the tax bracket. In the same breath, physically handicapped and blind persons will also lose their zero-rate status. Tax experts, however, believe the government has a large scope to raise revenue, only that it's still reluctant to tighten its noose. It continues to lose revenue worth billions in tax evasions and in industries where cash change hands in bulk.
What they've got to do is go after the Juakali sector. We have probably 70 to 80% of our economy is floating around in the Juakali sector, and nobody is taxing them.
Furthermore, the Kenya Revenue Authority is reportedly wanting in reforms.
It is a known fact a lot of the taxes that are paid don't actually get to the exchequer. They get lost in the way. So it's a moral question here why government should be asking people to pay more taxes, yet there is no any evidence that government is taking necessary steps to deal with the leakage of tax revenue.
The VAT bill is set to be tabled in Parliament on Tuesday. Sylvia Chebet, a citizen.